Hello everyone, it's Cameron and welcome to another video. Today we're going to do something a bit different here. Now today we're going to go over an Elvis album series. Now you may remember about a year and a bit ago I did a video on the legendary performer Elvis series, but this is another Elvis series that's popular amongst the fandom, and it is of course Elvis's Golden Records. Now these were like records that were the greatest hits albums from RCA put out back in the 1950s, 60s, and into the 80s as well. So I'm just going to talk about them all, go over all the track listings and show you my versions, my vinyls and the CDs here. So yeah, we're going to get started now. The first volume came out, of course, in March 1958, and it was this Elvis's Golden Records. And that's a really iconic cover. Picture of Elvis and all the gold records in the background. There's the back cover, songs. This came out in March 1958, kind of at the time of Elvis's kind of success and kind of fame had been rising for some time, and this was put out before he did the King Creole and before he went into the army, sort of thing. But anyways, this copy is a 1980s reissue on the Silver and Black RCA label. But I'm going over the tracks. So we start with Hound Dog, which was one of his big million hits, big million sellers from July 1956. And then we get Lovin' You, the title song from the 1957 film, which was also a single in the June of 1957 as well. All Shook Up, which was a big hit as well. His first UK #1 here in the March of 57, but in the UK it was in June of 57. Heartbreak Hotel, his first big hit from January 1956, and also his first RCA single, so you kind of go on with that there. Jailhouse Rock, the title song from his third film, and also released as a single in September 1957. Love Me from Elvis's second album in October 1956, but also on one of the EPs surrounding the album as well. And Too Much, which was a single from January 1957 and was a another hit. Turn It Over. Side 2 we have Don't Be Cruel, the B-side of Hound Dog, which is a double A-side single from July 1956. That's When Your Heartaches Begin, the B-side of All Shook Up from 1957. Let Me Be Your Teddy Bear, which I think was the A-side of Lovin' You, and Lovin' You was the B-side of Let Me Be Your Teddy Bear, but they were from the Lovin' You film and Lovin' You album in June 1957. Love Me Tender, the title song from Elvis's debut, which was released as an EP in November 56, and then but released as the single on its own in September of 56. Treat Me Nice, the B-side of Jailhouse Rock. Any Way You Want Me, That's How I Will Be. Now that was a song that was recorded during the sessions for Hound Dog in July 56, but it wouldn't be issued until the September of that year as the B-side of Love Me Tender, and that's another really good song. And then we get another one of my favourite Elvis songs, which is I Want You, I Need You, I Love You, which was his sort of second big hit from May of 1956. So yeah, that's the front cover. It's a great picture there. Back songs on the liner notes. And this is again, as I say, an 80s pressing. But the thing with this one, it says on the... that way... I bought this from my local shop in Saltcoats, local record shop in Saltcoats, about a year and a bit ago, again, almost 2 years ago in fact. I bought it back in December of 2022. But the thing is, it says here, stereo effect reprocessed from monophonic, and this means it's electronically reprocessed stereo. And what that means is that back in the 50s, an artist like Elvis puts out a record on like a single, and it would go out in mono. And the albums were also in mono, which means that there were never really any true stereo mixes. Basically, this is like a fake stereo mix done from a mono mix, and it's not the best sounding record, I must say. This is not the best sounding pressing of it, is there? I'd like to get an original US mono pressing, but this is still nice to have for the time being. And I've also got a British pressing of Elvis's Golden Records in mono. Now the difference of this, they've changed the track listing. And it says down there, a footnote from RCA Records London. This album, as issued in the USA, contained 14 of Elvis Presley's 16 consecutive golden records. 4 of these, Lovin' You, Jailhouse Rock, Teddy Bear and Treat Me Nice, have already been issued on the RCA label in this country. So, in response to many letters from Elvis fans all over the British Isles, we have replaced them with 4 early recordings which have never before been issued in this country. They are I Love You Because, an early Sun recording, which was released on Elvis's first album in March 1956. You're a Heartbreaker, which was the flip side of Elvis's third Sun single in the either December of 54 or the January of 1955. I'll Never Let You Go, Little Darling, which was from the debut album again. And I Forgot to Remember to Forget, which was the flip side, I think it might be the flip side of Mystery Train in the August of 1955 on the Sun label. But those tracks had previously been issued on the HMV label in this country, in the UK, and so had a lot of the other songs. So this was the first time they appeared on an RCA album in this country, because RCA had got the rights to release the recordings, because at the time when Elvis first came out, HMV was like the distributor for his UK records, but there wasn't yet a distributor for the UK in RCA. So it wasn't until RCA did a deal with Decca in some point in the 57, and that's how Elvis's records started coming out in RCA in this country, in the UK. So this is the UK pressing. Not the original version, because the original version was like a gatefold and had like a booklet inside. I'd like to get an original pressing of that though, but they might be a bit pricey. But anyway, and it's on the this copy's on the RCA Victor label. This is a 64 pressing, and it's the red spot in reverse. Basically, the red spot label is basically the background's black, and the RCA up here is usually red, but it's now in reverse for this one. So it's that one. And then I've got this one. This is the exact same copy as that one I just showed you. It's not in the best of condition, but I got this from free off a friend this was his friend's record. And one day we turned up for swimming, and he just went, "Oh, I've got something to give you." And this is from his friend's collection, because they were talking about music, and they were asking, and my radio show, and they said, "Oh, does he like Elvis?" And just gave him the record. And I wonder how he knew that I was an Elvis fan. Maybe my friend told him, I don't know. But anyways, this is still nice to have as a freebie, and it's could do as a spare copy. But the record's actually not in too bad condition. Just needs a bit of a clean though. And I got the CD version here, which is from the original classic album series. Now there's a few of these for these Elvis ones, but this is the Golden Records series, and here's the CD version of Elvis's Golden Records. Same track listing, but there are a few bonus tracks, which are My Baby Left Me, which is the B-side of I Want You, I Need You, I Love You. I Was the One, the B-side of Heartbreak Hotel. That's Alright, Elvis's first Sun single from July of 1954. Baby Let's Play House from the April 1955 Sun single. Mystery Train from Elvis's last Sun single in August 1955. And Blue Suede Shoes, which was from the debut album in 1956. So this was like the 1997 edition that they used for this set. So in between, so the Golden Records came after Elvis's Christmas album and King Creole, in between that order. And then it wouldn't be until November 1959, during which Elvis was in the army, and we got Gold Records Volume 2. Yeah, again, first one's great, second one's just as great, I would say. And I've got 2 versions of this on vinyl. Original pressings in the US came with 10 tracks, but in the UK we got the 4 that were taken off the first volume. So they kind of switched about a bit. Excuse me. This one, I think I'm likely to read from the label of the track listing. It might be a bit kind of jumbled around on the front cover. Now this is a very iconic picture of Elvis here on the front with like his gold lame suit, which I actually have as a canvas just over there, which I'll just go and show you. And here it is. Here's the canvas of the Gold Records Volume 2 album, which I found in a charity shop, one of my local charity shops in Saucus. I think it was the Deborah charity shop I found this one in. So really cool to find that. I thought I'd just show that one there, given that we were talking about the Golden Records series. So yeah, there's the front cover there, back cover photo. This is a 1969 pressing on the orange RCA Victor label. Oh, so then the tracks we get here are I Need Your Love Tonight, which is the B-side of Now and Then There's a Fool Such As I in 1959. Don't, a great RCA Victor single from January 1958. Wear a Ring Around Your Neck, again from April 1958. My Wish Came True, which was the B-side of Big Hunk of Love in 1959. I Got Stung, the flip side of One Night in 1959. Loving You from the Loving You film 57. Let Me Be Your Teddy Bear. Turn It Over. We get One Night, which was a hit that came out just as Elvis had gone into the army in the October of 1958. Big Hunk of Love from the June of 1959. I Beg of You, B-side of Don't. A Fool Such As I, which was a big hit in March of 59. Great record there. Don't You Think It's Time, the B-side of Wear My Ring Around Your Neck. Jailhouse Rock, which was from the first volume in the US, and Treat Me Nice, both released as a single back-to-back, as we stated earlier, in 58. So there's that one there. So yeah, it's nice to have both the UK and the kind of US track listing of this. This is kind of closer to the US edition because it pretty much is the same, just the 4 extra tracks. And again, I found this one in the Sockets Record Center store. And this copy, which I got before that one, this one's a 1984. I should say that one's in mono, and this one's also in mono. So this is a good sounding pressing. Elvis Gold Records. This one has the track listing completely rejiggered and has 4 additional songs as well, which are Santa Bring My Baby Back to Me, King Creole, Wear My Ring Around Your Neck, and hang on a minute. Santa Bring My Baby Back to Me from the Elvis's Christmas album in October 1957, Party from Loving You, 1957, Paralyzed from Elvis's second album in October 1956 again, and King Creole, the title song from Elvis's 4th film in the September of 1958. So it's an 80s pressing, but it was still quite nice to have, and it's a good sounding pressing in mono, and on the silver and black RCA Victor label. Oh, sorry for my phone going off there. So yeah, nice pressing. Good pressing to have though, and it sounds good. So it's nice to have kind of both of these pressings, because this is the original UK track listing, and this is just like I just kind of wanted to hold on to them, really. You know, it's so nice to have both. And then in between that, Elvis kind of came back from the army, was making more hit records and appearing in films. And then in August 1963, we got Elvis's Gold Records Volume 3. And much like the first 2, this is probably my favourite volume of the bunch. I couldn't say I have a favourite volume because they're all really, really great. But this one I'd say is probably my favourite out of the 3 volumes we've talked about so far. Meant to say in the CD version of the Gold Records Volume 2 is in this, which is just here. Now this one, they kind of added a lot of bonus tracks to this one, which are the Santa Claus Is Back in Town they've added. They've also added Mean Woman Blues from Loving You in 1957, in the June 1957. Playing for Keeps from a B-side of Too Much. Hard-Headed Woman from King Creole, Got a Lot of Living to Do from Loving You, and There'll Be Peace in the Valley from Me. So they kind of they added a lot of bonus tracks to that one back in 1997, because this is like the 1997 versions that they have there. So there's the CD version there. Got to show that there. But anyway, back to Volume 3. Now this kind of focuses from like 1960 up to 62. So yeah, we get It's Now or Never, which was a million seller in July 1960. Stuck on You, Elvis's first single when he came back from the army in March 1960. Fame and Fortune, which is the B-side of Stuck on You. I Gotta Know, which is the B-side of Are You Lonesome Tonight. Surrender, another one of my favourite Elvis songs there from February 1961. I Feel So Bad, which is I think the A-side of Wild in the Country. I think it was the B-side of Wild in the Country from, I think, the May of 1961. Are You Lonesome Tonight, one of my favourite hits from November 1960. Marie's Name is Latest Flame, again a great hit record from August 1961. Little Sister, the B-side of Marie's Name, and one of my favourite Elvis rockers. Good Luck Charm, another great one from, this was from March of 1962. Anything That's Part of You, one of my favourite kind of piano ballads from Elvis, and the B-side of Good Luck Charm. She's Not You, which is a big hit, which is a hit record in July of 1962. So yeah, really great record. It says down there at the bottom, all tracks electronically reprocessed, but this isn't. This is a true stereo pressing, true stereo sounding. So I don't know why that electronically reprocessed is on the back. It might be a misprinting error, I don't know. But again, on the RCA silver and black label. These are all just standard black vinyls, so. That one. And then I got another copy from the charity shop in Stevenson. And it's this copy of Elvis's Gold Records Volume 3, but this is a stereo collector's gold vinyl edition, which was released in. This is a Canadian import. I found it for £1 in a charity shop. It's not in the best of shape. There's like writing on it. To Elaine from Rab Reed, 1980. It says up there. There's sort of a bit of tape on the bottom, but you know, it was cheap and it was like a gold vinyl, so I thought, yeah, I might as well get it. It has the inner sleeve, which I've gotten a few other Elvis releases, but there's some of these kind of the artwork's kind of different to the ones that I think end up. But I think there's some albums in there that don't appear on other inner sleeves of these I've got. And there's the gold vinyl version, which they use the Canadian Tribute label as well. That picture there. Yeah, this one's not in the best shape. There's a few marks, few scratches, but it was cheap. And I have a black vinyl copy of it to play, so I can play it and listen to it. Again, CD version, similar. Smaller, but then with the bonus tracks here from the CD are Wild in the Country, the title song from 1961, Wooden Heart from GI Blues in 1960, September of 1960, The Girl of My Best Friend, which is from the Elvis's back album in April 1960, Follow That Dream from the title song from Elvis's movie 1961, King of the Whole Wide World from Kid Galahad in 1962, and Can't Help Falling in Love, which is from Blue Hawaii film and then released as a single in 1961, in the November of 61, and the B-side of Rockahula Baby. I think it was a double A-side in this country, in the UK. And then, still doing the films and a lot of hit records. The hits kind of die off a bit in the kind of mid-60s bit, and then we get Elvis's Gold Records Volume 4 in the January of 1968. Again, this is a pretty good volume. This has a lot of kind of lesser known material, but still a really good volume, I would say. I really like the cover again. All these cover arts are really, really good, especially when they got the gold record in the background. And this one's quite nice with the green background, and the other one's quite nice to have with like the blue background as well. So I quite like the fact that they did kind of various cover colours. Okay, so the tracks on here are Love Letters from June 1960, one of my favourite of the later records. It Hurts Me, Witchcraft, which was the B-side of Bossa Nova Baby in October 1963. It Hurts Me, the B-side of Kissin' Cousins, one of my favourite Elvis ballad songs from February 1964. What I'd Say, which is from, I think, Viva Las Vegas in 1963. Please Don't Drag That String Around, the B-side of Devil in Disguise. Indescribably Blue, one of my favourite Elvis ballad songs from January 1967. You're the Devil in Disguise, the A-side of Please Don't Drag That String Around from June 1963, one of my favourite Elvis songs there. Lonely Man, B-side of Surrender. A Mess of Blues, which was from the Elvis's back album in 1960, but in America it was the B-side of It's Now or Never in 1960. Then Ask Me, which is the B-side of Ain't That Lovin' You Baby. And then we get Ain't That Lovin' You Baby from September 1964. And then Just Tell Her Jim Said Hello, which is the B-side of She's Not You. So, not a bad volume. Quite interesting they threw in some of the lesser known songs from like the previous years. Because usually in some cases they would kind of pick up from where the previous volume left off. But not in this case. They've done it a bit. They've picked up from where the last volume left off. And they've kind of thrown in some tracks. They didn't make the other previous volumes that were on an album at that point, but still quite interesting how they've done it. Similar pressings to the others. This is a 1980s silver and black on the RC International label. So yeah, not bad volume, I must say. And again, CD version, replication of the vinyl. I know these CDs came out individually as well, and they also came out in the Elvis Albums Collection box set, which I do not have because it's really expensive, so these will do me for now. But the bonus tracks are Return to Sender from October 1962, from the Girls, Girls, Girls film, Rockahula Baby from Blue Hawaii, Viva Las Vegas, the title song from the 1964 film from March 1964, I think. What I'd say was the B-side of Viva Las Vegas. And Crying in the Chapel. So there's 6 extra bonus songs. Oh, and Kiss the Cousins is thrown in here as well. So yeah, there's a few extra tracks thrown in there as well. Which you can see in the back there. So that's the CD edition. And then after that, it was another few years before we get another volume. But I think they were putting out original material, and it wouldn't be until I think the March of '84 that we got Elvis's Gold Records Volume 5. And this is a new one I recently required. It'll be the next vinyl update. And this is a very rare one to get hold of. It's very hard to find this for a reasonable price. Usually on eBay you tend to find these coming from like America. I'm actually finding this one from a UK seller on eBay. So yeah, explain this in the next vinyl update again. Cover art's good, I like the blue background, but where's the gold record in this? It's called Elvis's Gold Records Volume 5. And back cover's a nice picture. A song's on the back there. Okay, so we get on here Suspicious Minds, the big hit single from August 1969, which was out just as Elvis did his like live vacancy in Las Vegas. Kentucky Rain, one of my favourite later ones from January 1970. In the Ghetto, one of my favourites from April 1969. Clean Up Your Own Backyard from June 1969. In the Ghetto was also on the From Elvis in Memphis album. If I Can Dream from the 1968 comeback special, and also issued as a single in the November of 1968. Burning Love, one of my favourite Elvis ones from August 1972. If You Talk in Your Sleep from, I think it's the from the Promised Land album in January 1975. For the Heart from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee in May 1976, but also issued as a single as well. Moody Blue, originally from November 1976, but then later issued in July of 77 on the Moody Blue album. And Way Down, which was issued as a single in the June of 77 and was issued on Moody Blue a month later, and then became a posthumous UK #1 after Elvis's passing on August 16th, 1977. That's the back. That's a nice picture of Elvis. I think it's from 72, judging from the jumpsuit he's wearing and from the acoustic guitar he's got. And it's on the RCA label. But yeah, I don't know why it took them 16 years to put it out. What they could have really done is maybe put out another volume in the 70s. And there's some rather strange omissions on here from this CD, like Where's the Wonder of You, Where's American Trilogy, or Where's Always on My Mind, Where's I Just Can't Help Believing, which was a big hit in here in the UK. So there's some rather strange omissions from here, which is unusual, but still a really good volume. But I've yet to kind of hear this one, which I'll definitely give it a spin sometime. And the CD version is similar to the vinyl. Here is the CD version. And the bonus tracks on the CD are Big Boss Man from 1967-68, Guitar Man from 1967, and as a bonus song on the Clambake soundtrack in October of 67, I think. US Mail single from February 1968, sorry. You Don't Have to Say You Love Me from the That's the Way It Is album in November 1970. Edge of Reality, which is the B-side of If I Can Dream in America. Memories, which is the B-side of If I Can Dream in this country in the UK, and also a standalone single as well in the February of 69 or early 69 or thereabouts. So that's the bonus tracks on that one. So that's the Elvis's Golden Records series done. Hope you all enjoyed this video. And do I have a favourite volume? As I say, it was difficult to choose, but I think I like volumes 1 and 3 and 2 and 4. I like them all, really. I think, you know, you can't, with someone like Elvis, you can't really choose a specific favourite album or volume, really, because you like a lot of the stuff he's done. And I love a lot of the stuff he's done from the 50s, 60s and into the 70s. I tend to vary sometimes with Elvis. Some people say, what's your favourite period? It'll vary. One day it might be 50s, some days it might be the 60s, other days I might say I like the 70s, later recordings. It really changes all the time, but I really like them all. I like all the eras. One day I might say one thing and another I say another thing. So yeah. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you like the Golden Record Series 2, leave a comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you again for the next video.